What is going on, everybody? It's been quite a little minute since we've been back on here live. I think the last time we went live was Stefan Diggs trade, right?
Yes, yes, yes. We
Yes.
back, y'all. We back.
We are back. We are energized, recharged, ready to talk to Buffalo Bills football. A lot of things to talk about over the next couple weeks. We were definitely going to go live after the first preseason game, but then we said let's just wait. Let's see what they got week two, and here we are. For you guys who are new to the show, who have not seen this before, I am your host JTM. I got my co-host in the building with me, James Mallory. Mal, what's up, my guy, man? What's going on?
What's up? What's up? What's up, man? We missed all of y'all. We back. We back. We back. We back in full effect. JT and I got some great things in store for y'all this season. So make sure y'all stay tuned in. Don't sleep on it. Be on it. I'm telling you right now, it's some great things happening.
That's it. We ready to talk some football. So obviously the Bills have played two preseason games with one remaining. There's not a whole lot of position battles as far as the starters go, outside of free safety. Seeing what that line's going to be at free safety, seeing what that number five, number six, possibly number seven receiver is going to be, see who comes in at number two at the backfield, things as such, and then obviously just some positioning of backups to offensive linemen. Not really a whole lot to talk about there, but some of those positions are going to be key because these guys are actually going to play playing time this year.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot more interesting, I would say, this year than it has been in years past. But with that being said, let's hop right into it. So now, Mal, the Bills have played two preseason games. Obviously, the first one they got dog walked there by the Chicago Bears. Second game was up to the standard, and we're going to talk about that tonight too. A little bit about Sean McDermott speaking about the Bills and what is and what was not the standard in the various weeks. I just want to get your opinion on how the team responded to that, new players and old faces. But no, actually, let's hop into it, man. Who has impressed you the most through the preseason, and then we'll talk about who has not.
Okay. I'm not gonna go with some of the obvious choices, right?
Right.
You know who I like is the center. That rookie center we drafted.
Okay,
Um,
Van Prague.
yes, I
Yeah,
like him. He's been playing really. I think he has a bright future. I think we might have stole one right there. I think he has starting potential sooner than people may realize. I really, really am impressed with him. But obvious choice for me as well. So that's more under the radar. But the obvious one is Greg Rousseau. I love what I'm
yeah.
seeing out of Greg Rousseau, man. Um, he's I think he's a star in the making. So those are two guys I'm rolling with, JT. So I mean, who you rolling with?
Actually, I got piggyback off here with Greg Rousseau. I think I was talking to a couple buddies of mine last week, and they were asking how Greg Rousseau was looking, and I personally said, obviously the run stoppage has been there since the day one since he came into the NFL. I
Yes.
think this is the year that you're going to see the season that he turns that corner with the double digit sacks. I thought we would have saw it last year too if he didn't hurt that ankle and then get injured. But I think this is 100% the year that you're going to see him turn that corner. And not only was he just throwing a man, and Broderick Jones, a man who's like 6'7", 335 pounds, just out the way as if he was a child. You saw the ferocity, you saw the quickness. This is the year I think you'll see Greg Rousseau put that 10 to 12 sack year together. And I think that the Bills will get an extension done right after this season
Yeah, I do too.
fairly quickly. But like I said, once again, that's an obvious choice. So obviously, everybody's going to talk about Buffalo Joe. I thought Buffalo Joe has done a hell of a job. That's Joe Andreessen, a middle linebacker who started for the Bills last week. I think he's a guy that has solidified himself a spot on the practice squad. Okay, I'm
Yes.
not gonna get too far ahead. I think he solidified his spot on the practice squad, for sure. And I mean, I don't know. That's something that maybe, just maybe down the line, it'd be something we look at. I'm not gonna get too wrapped into, the preseason and saying that this guy's a future star or anything like that. I don't know, but I think at the very least he solidified himself a spot in the preseason. I mean, the practice squad. As you saw, what happened last year with Terrell Bernard getting injured, having Matt Milano out and having to call AJ Klein up
Yep.
from vacation to play in the playoff game. So I think he's played very well. I'm gonna go with Richard Garage. You know, this is a guy I was high on last
Yes.
last
That's your
preseason
guy.
as well.
That's your guy.
I think he's been solid again. Like I said, has he been good enough to beat somebody out for a backup tackle spot? I can't say that necessarily. But I will say that another guy that should have solidified at least himself a spot in the practice squad. And I think guy number 3 I'll go with is I'll go Ray Davis. I think Ray Davis has looked pretty solid, and I think that's going to be an important part of this team this year as we talk about the offensive identity later in this show. That number 2 running back spot and having that power back is
You
going
know
to
what
be
I didn't realize, JT? I didn't
Yeah.
realize Ty Johnson was only 26 years old.
Yeah, Ty's young. Ty's not
I
old.
thought he was a little bit. No, I didn't think he was old, but I thought he was maybe 29ish.
No,
I
he's
didn't
young.
realize he's only 26. Wow.
Yeah, he's younger. So, like I said, I think, and I thought Ty looked well. I thought as a whole, the whole running game has looked pretty solid outside of the first unit a little bit there. So I would say that the running back as a core looks pretty good. But moving on, James, who has not impressed you so far this preseason?
DeMar Hamlin. I'm kind of worried about the safety position.
Okay.
And it's not that I think he's played bad. I mean, if you're a starter, you got to stand out, in my opinion. That's how I judge it, right? You should be able to look on the field and be like, okay, that's a starter, right? Not okay, that's a pretty good player. And to me, it's just I'm concerned. I'm concerned. But I'll have to say that it's not because he's performing poorly. It's just that he's not just a standout.
Right. So I once again I have to piggyback off that. I would say that out of every position on this team this year, even right receiver, safety is my biggest concern at this moment. And obviously, I think that'll probably be the biggest concern of most people in Bills Mafia. Just the simple fact that you do not have a Micah Hyde and you do not have a Jordan Boyer, and we see how blessed and how spoiled we were to have those guys for the years that we had them. But I would say Hamlin hasn't impressed me. I would say the safety core as a whole has not impressed me. From the starters to the backups and to the depth, I have not been impressed. Obviously, last week was a lot better game, but I thought that game was won up front by the front seven, personally.
Yes.
I would say Deion Jones is a shell of himself. He has not looked good at all.
Now,
Even
let
again-
me ask you this.
Yeah,
You think he make the roster?
no, not a chance in hell.
You don't
At
think
this
so?
current moment. At this current moment, not a chance in hell. I'm just being honest. Not a chance in hell. No. Where you gonna put it? I mean, at this point, where are we gonna play him?
I don't have an answer for you.
I'm serious. I don't know
trying,
where
JT.
I don't know where you would play him at right now. He can't shed blocks at this point in time. He didn't look good in coverage. He did not look a guy who's been a 9-year, 10-year vet in the NFL, going against third string and fourth string guys who probably won't be on NFL teams come this time next week.
Yeah.
He has not looked good. So I would say not a chance in hell for him making this roster. I would also say I'm probably a little disappointed with the backup quarterbacks as a whole. I didn't like what I saw from Trubisky. I didn't like what I saw from Bouchel. I didn't like what I saw from DiNucci. Just know this. I mean, and it's not like this to be common knowledge. Knock on wood. If there was anything that ever happened to Josh Allen with this team this year, we are just royally screwed. I mean, as in most superstar quarterbacks.
That's putting it kindly.
Yeah, we're totally screwed. Haven't liked what I saw, honestly. So, other than that, I mean, I think KJ Hamler, very disappointed. Another player I'm very
I
disappointed.
wouldn't put him there. I think he makes the roster.
Yeah. I don't think he makes his roster.
I think he does.
If you'd asked me this question 2 weeks ago, I would say he's close to a lock.
Because the other receivers have been underwhelming.
Hold on, you cut off.
I said he's going to make it because the other receivers have been underwhelming.
Yeah, they have.
Shorter, no.
No.
Isabella, no.
Nope.
I mean, you can't name five guys ahead of him, like firmly ahead of him. Or six. Excuse me. You can't name six guys firmly ahead of him.
I mean, if you put him as number 6, then fine, I guess. But I mean, at this point in time, I'd trade for somebody. I'm being completely honest. I trade for somebody. I'll wait
So
for
who are
somebody
our
to get cut.
locks? Samuels, we got to worry about his injuries, right?
Curtis Samuel, you got to worry about his injury. Yep.
Then you go
Obviously, Keon Coleman. Obviously, Matt Collins.
And then Shakira. That's four
Shakira
locks.
is 4. Yeah.
So we got 4 locks and 2 spots open.
We got 4 locks and 5 underwhelming other receivers at this point in time.
Yes.
You're going to have to pick up that phone and call somebody or wait for somebody to get cut.
Yeah.
It's the receiving. It's been that bad, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I was expecting Tyrell Shavers to step up. That was the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because he had an awesome preseason last year, and I'm like, all right, this kid can fight for this spot, and I've seen nothing. And I don't know. Maybe it's because the Bills have been dedicated to running the football the second half of these games with the backups in.
Yeah.
But no, I can't vouch for anybody behind Keon Coleman and Matt Collins, receiver number 4, to make this roster.
MVS hasn't did much either, man. Even before the injury.
And he's hurt now, so like that's what I'm saying. I can't. He would have been the only one I said, all right, just give him the spot. He's playing some big moments. I can't vouch for anybody. Yeah, he's gonna have to wait and see if somebody gets cut. I think, in my opinion, I think he's gonna have to. No way. So I'd say everybody behind Matt Collins and Keon Coleman has not impressed. So I'd say they definitely have not. I think he got a pretty good battle going there at tight end. I've liked what I saw from Quentin Morris. I've liked what I saw from Zach Davidson.
I like Davidson. I can't lie. I do. I do.
Yeah. Like
now, that's the question. Mm-hmm. Do you keep 4 tight ends and just take a receiver away?
You could. You very well could because Kincaid can play in the slot.
Yep.
You could.
That might be something we see.
You could, but the Bills are creatures of habit.
Yes, they are.
And the habit has always been 5 receivers.
6, right? We usually have
sometimes 6. Sometimes 6.
One year we won 7, I believe, didn't we?
At times. At times, depending on what team we were playing, we did go 7 at times. I don't think we'll see that this year though, because you're really gonna need those spots for the defensive line and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like you could go 4 tight ends. I just don't see them doing it. They've never done it.
Yeah,
they've never done it. I mean, and honestly, James, to be honest, for them to do that, you would really have to see something really, really big from Zach Davidson this next game to say, we got to keep this kid on the roster because we can't stash him.
I think you got to keep him. I think you cut Quentin Morris and keep him. I really do.
You could do that, but my only question is that I don't know much about Zach Davidson as our special teams goes. Quentin Morris plays on every single special teams unit you have. And you ain't going to put Dawson Knox out there. You ain't going to put Dalton Kincaid on those units. So I guess the question would be could Davidson play those special teams units? Now, if he can do that, yeah, you can make that move if you like. But he's a pretty big piece to replace. He's on kick coverage. He's on punt coverage. He's on field goal teams. So, I don't know. That's a good question. It is possible. I don't see it, but it is possible. We'll see what Zach Davidson does this week. If he impresses again, like really, really impresses, they're going to come to that decision possibly. Or you keep him on his roster and he's healthy. One of those guys is a healthy scratch here and there.
Yeah,
there's nothing you could do if you really want to go that route. Well, moving on, man. I think we talked about another guy who's been a topic for the last couple of years, Kaiir Elam.
Yes.
I want to know where you stand on this, man, because I know this is a guy that you've been saying for a couple of years now that him and Benford are the future. You've been saying
Yes.
that for 2 years. Him and Benford are the future. And
Yeah.
I actually got an interesting take on this topic tonight, where I think the Bills dropped the ball on something. Obviously, Kyer, he's played solid in the preseason. He doesn't look bad. He seems to be healthy. What do you think that we stand on him? Because obviously, there's still some teams that are going to pick up the phone and call for trade value. I mean, he has trade value, 100%. What do you think the Bills do in this situation with him?
If we trade him, I think that'd be the dumbest thing we can do. One of the dumbest things we can do, right? Um, I think him and Benford will be the starting corners in 2025, and I think they'll be one of the top corner tandems.
Mm.
That's. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm keep cutting. I might have to take my Wi-Fi off, but him and Benford are going to be a great combination.
Mm.
Um, I love his skill set. I love how hard he works. You can tell he cares about it, right? He cares about his craft. He pours into his craft. If you got him and Benford outside physically, two guys that can run,
Mm-hmm.
have size. I don't think we've ever had that with McDermott with two of them. We've always had an undersized corner. Not saying that means they're not good, but um, I think he brings a different type of skill set. I love what I've seen out of him so far. He's out there competing with the twos. That shows somebody that cares. Try to take that off, but I'm loving it, man.
Yeah.
I'm an Elam guy.
All right. So I've been saying since last year, he's probably the most physically. Nah, he's not probably. He's the most physically gifted cornerback that we have on this football team. He's also probably the most physical cornerback that we have on this football team. And I said he should have been playing a long time ago. Now, obviously, last year he hurt his foot. We do know about that. That's what ended up happening to Kyer Elam. But in the day when he was healthy, he still wasn't playing last year. This is year number 3. He's a first-round pick. You should be on the football field somewhere by this point in time. Now, whether that's on him or whether that's possibly on the development, that's the question that you have to ask that question. And no one's going to give you a true answer on that one. So you open for interpretation, I'd say. He should be on the football field this year. Okay? This is an investment you made in a high first round pick, and one that I believe that they traded up like 2 slots to take him. Correctly, am I correct on that?
I believe so. Yeah, and then
Okay.
what's name jumped us and took McDuffie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you where and why the Bills are dropping the ball on Kyer Elam, because I stand with you on this one. He should be playing. He should be playing right now. You drop the ball because now we're saying that our biggest concern in the secondary is not cornerback. It's safety. You had a guy in the secondary room that's a ball hawk and a playmaker that you could have moved to free safety, avoiding this catastrophe that you could possibly have right now. You could have moved Rasul Douglas at the end of the season back to free safety. It's too late now because now you went through the whole summer. He didn't get the reps. He didn't get the looks. He's not going to have the defense down at that position. But I've been saying since last year, that's a move that should have 100% been made. He's going into last year of his contract. He's 30 years old. The odds of you extending him at cornerback are very, very slim to none.
Yeah, he's gone.
Especially with Kyer Elam on this roster. Okay? The chances of you extending him at free safety at 30 would have been a whole lot higher. And honestly, you wouldn't have been worried about the production slipping at that position.
Yeah.
So where I stand on Kyer Elam is he should have been starting this year. Opposite of Christian Benford. And you could have had one of the most physical tandems of cornerbacks in the NFL. Hold on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree with you more, man. That's a physical tandem you put out there. You put Kyer Elam out there with Benford, man. I would love that, and I couldn't agree with you more. At least seeing what it looks like. But also, we got to consider JT is Rasul Douglas has gotten injured before.
No, and he has, but I would have felt a whole lot comfortable if he got injured and he was getting injured at free safety. And then we're going to a DeMar Hamlin, or then we're moving to a Cole Bishop, or then we're moving to a Mike Edwards, Who, mind you, we haven't seen Mike Edwards even suit up. He's been injured since he got here, just about.
Yeah, literally.
Which is probably was going to be the guy that was going to be tapped to be free safety.
I
So
ain't
now
gonna
you
lie.
have,
I forgot about him. You just said
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. You forgot because we haven't seen him.
Yes.
So my thing is this is the where I stand on Kyrie Elam is the Bills should have went to the end of last season saying, listen, this guy's going to play next year. Especially when you made the decision like, okay, Micah Hyde ain't coming back. Jordan Poyer ain't coming back. Tre'Davious White ain't coming back. Once you said those three guys ain't coming back, your first round pick should from 2 years ago should have been ready to go. You figure it out. But now you have two good corners in front of him. Two good corners, mind you, which either one can make the switch to free safety. Not saying that you should move Benford, but the option was there. You could do it. It's in the scout report. Okay? So where I stand with Elam is, honestly, he should be playing this year. But I don't think, barring injury, you're not going to see him. So what does that tell me? Another wasted year. So I don't know. And I hear what you're saying about the future, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen here. He doesn't play this year, and then you finally play him next year, meaning you're not going to pick up his fifth-year option if he doesn't play this year because you're not going to commit yourself to that money, right? But then after you don't commit yourself to that money, the thing is, let's say he goes out there and he plays well next year.
Which he is.
Which he probably is.
He's made some big plays for us.
Yeah. Well, you guys ain't played me in 4 years. I've been here. Now I'm showing myself. Now you play me. Now I play. I'm not giving you a discount to resign me. I'm gonna test the market, 110%, as he should, because that's the business of the NFL.
Yes.
That's the business of life. When someone when someone seems like they don't appreciate you, and they keep doing it over and over and over again, and then finally they say, "Damn, I really appreciate you." Sometimes it's a little too late. Just saying. So that's where I stand on Elam. I mean, I think that the Bills dropped the ball by not moving Rasul Douglas back to free safety when you had the opportunity to. I don't know. We'll see. But moving on along, man. You got anything to add on Kyrie Elam? Anything left?
Nope. Everybody, just remember I said Kyrie Elam is going to be a baller.
Yeah. Well, matter of fact, before we go, what do you think the chance of the Bills possibly trade him this preseason team's call?
Because the depth is so bad behind him, I'll say maybe
For
5%.
boundary corner. For boundary corner it is.
Boundary corner is terrible behind him.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe 5%.
Yeah. Slot, you're really good. You got, like, between Teron Johnson and Hardy, you're pretty good there as far as slot goes this year. But moving on, I want to talk about Sean McDermott a little bit. And obviously, after the Chicago Bears preseason opener, he said that the team didn't play up to the standard of putting on a Buffalo Bills uniform, which I agree with him.
Yes.
And after Pittsburgh, I thought we talked on the phone and we said, hey, you're going to see a different vibe from this team. You're going to see a different aura. You're going to see a different level of effort and commitment. And I think you saw that out the gate all the way through the game. It didn't matter if they were a first stringer or they were, at this point with the preseason, a sixth stringer. Okay? The effort was there, and I think that his message got through. Have we gone from trusting the process to this is the standard, right? There is no more process, correct?
Yeah, no.
There's a standard that we have to uphold as the Buffalo Bills football team, and this is it. There ain't no processing.
No, he been there too long now. I mean, that we passed that. We know what's expected. So we just they got to get out there and take care of business. Period. They know exactly what's expected. Go out there, perform to the best of your ability. We don't sleepwalk through preseason games at all.
No. And I think, this is probably the first year we could say that we have this much turnover and this many new players. And I think he was setting the tone like, listen, this is it. Because, once again, we have to keep bringing it up. There's no Micah Hyde in that locker room. There's no Jordan Poyer in this locker room. There's no, honestly, Stephon Diggs in that locker room. There's a lot of key pieces missing that were there that was setting the tone with their play and, honestly, with their attitude. It's not there anymore. And I think not only was the message sent by Sean McDermott, like, hey, this is where we do stuff in my building and on my roster. Everything counts at every moment and every minute. But at the same time, he set a tone for guys like DeMar Hamlin, guys like Terrell Bernard, who are stepping in and now you have to be the leader. You have to fill those shoes of these guys who have now departed, whether it's free agency or retirement, that you have to hold your guys, your teammates accountable. This is unacceptable, and it won't be accepted here in Buffalo anymore at all. I don't care if it's a preseason game. It ain't going to happen. But I think the biggest thing in that message is, obviously, if the Bills struggle this year, there's going to be questions about Coach Sean McDermott being on the hot seat, okay? They're going to be unavoidable. They're going to be unavoidable until he wins the Super Bowl. Let's just be real about it. But the biggest thing for me that I was telling you on the phone is the message got through. The team responded.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that goes to show a head coach who has a pulse on his team, right? A head coach who has their locker room. Them dudes could have said, whatnot, right? They came out there, they competed, and they changed. There's a 180, right? So that goes to show, people keep saying hot seat, hot seat, hot seat. It's very hard to find a head coach like that in the NFL. It's very, very, very difficult to find a head coach like that in the NFL. So just be careful when people keep saying throwing hot seat out there. Be careful with that, because to find a head coach that has the command of that locker room like him is hard. I promise you, if he was to leave, God forbid, that means stuff went wrong. Hope he stay here for the next 20 years. But if he was to leave, just say hypothetically after this season, Bills fans at this time next year, McDermott would have had him. Well, be careful what you wish for, man. We got the right guy in place. It's gonna happen. It's gonna work.
I've been saying there's only one guy that can replace him. I've been saying it for. Listen, I don't care what Colin Cowherd says. You can go back. There's film I've been saying for 2 years. There's only one guy who can replace Sean McDermott in Buffalo, and that's Bill Belichick.
You said it.
I've been saying it for 2 years, and the reason I keep saying it is because of so many different things that he does as far as the organization and running the organization. You're not just going to find somebody like that. He's not just a coach. It's not X's O's. It's not a Nick Sirianni type of deal where he's just calling the plays and running the practices. He's running the organization, especially in Kim Bagula's absence. Okay?
Yes.
So there's only one guy that really can do that as far as just available right now, and that's Bill Belichick, because he's done it for so long in New England. But moving on, I think Sean McDermott got the guys straight, and I think we're going to see another response in this third preseason game. Personally, I mean, there's going to be urgency. Teams are fighting. Players are fighting for jobs. Some players are fighting for careers this upcoming week. So, but moving on, man, I know it's a lot of concern about Buffalo and the offense, right? And what the overall identity is going to be, what our receiving core is going to be. I think we're pretty comfortable with the running game. I think most people are pretty comfortable with the offensive line. There's a switch that I'd like to see, but they're not going to do it, I don't believe, and I'll talk about that. But overall, I think what people are most likely worried about, we know Dawson Knox can play football. We know Dalton Kincaid can play football. We know Khalil Shakir can play football. James Cook and those guys, we know they can play. Yeah. But the question is how we're going to play, because we saw two different offensive philosophies last season. Two completely different offensive philosophies. And I think it's even more of a concern because we don't know what our defense is going to be. Yes. Like I said, once again, sorry to say it, no Jordan Poyer, no Micah Hyde, no Tre'Davious White, now no Matt Milano for at least to December possibly. Yes. What do you think the offside identity is going to be, James?
I think they're going to use the running game to set up the pass. I mean, most championship teams are set up that way. Like, there's very few teams who've just dropped back and thrown the ball 50 times and won Super Bowls. You win championships by having a successful running game. You got 3 running backs right now who I think can really be effective. You got a tight end who I think can be elite, right? Think about how most championship teams are set up. They run the ball efficiently, they use the tight end efficiently, and the receivers make big plays when called upon, right? So, it's if you think about the top receivers in the game, a lot of them don't have a Super Bowl ring, right? I mean, it's just what it is. Like, it's fun to watch, but I mean, running the football is going to get you a championship, and I think we got that formula in place now. And I'm excited about that. especially the three guys we got that can run the ball. Either Evans, I think Evans probably be on the practice squad, right?
Yeah, if he
Him
don't get
and Frank
plucked.
Gore Jr. look good. They look
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
They look good.
Let me ask you this: who's your top 5 receivers in the game right now? Just a little bit off
Ooh,
topic.
Justin Jefferson.
No particular order. Okay.
Yeah, no. So I have to go Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase,
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill,
Yep.
Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, who's the fifth? My fifth is up a little up in the air.
Just pick one. Get the random name.
My fifth.
Matter of fact, you could pick two. Pick two guys. It's fine. Pick two. You'll see why in a second.
So I went Jamar Chase,
You're Justin Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson.
Tyreek Hill. Yep.
I have to put CD in there.
Okay. CeeDee Lamb. Yep. Okay. Yep. Want to go
That'd
one
be my
more?
fifth. That'd be my fifth. I go with CD.
Okay. You want to go one more? That's it.
I'll probably stick with those. I'm comfortable.
How many Super Bowl rings does Tyreek Hill have?
One, or do you got two?
No, he has because Mahomes got what 3?
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill has 2. I think
No, he
Mahomes
only got one because they went back to back. So Tariq Hill only got one. He been in Miami for the last two.
Was he in
He only
Miami?
got
for
one
last
ring.
one? Yeah. Okay. So out of that whole group, like you just said, that's the only ring that's in there. Okay. So I'm adding to your point here. I'm adding to your point here that hold on, Tyreek Hill. Yep, 1. He has 1. Guaranteed 1. So I'm adding to your point here that in order to win football games and to win championships, mostly in NFL, that the run has to set up the pass.
Yep.
I have a little stat for you here because I like to dig for stuff.
Cook was the fourth leading rusher last year too. People sleeping on that.
100%, 110%. All right. The stat I want to tell you is that in 2022, the Bills' pass to run ratio was, I believe it was like 57% pass, 43% run. Okay. Last year, the Bills' run to pass ratio was the Bills passed the ball about 53% of the time compared to 47% of the run. But if you go to the last 4 games, it was dead even. 50-50.
So the last did we run more the last like 8 games with Brady?
Yes, we did. Compared to what Ken Dorsey in the year before, 110%. We did. Like I said, you went from 57% pass in 2022 to 53% last year total. That's not the first. That's just the whole entire season between Dorsey and Brady. But if you look at just the last quarter of the season, the last 4 games, it was dead even, 50-50. We've never been 50-50 since Josh Allen has been in Buffalo. Not under Brian Dable, not under Ken Dorsey. This is the first time we went 50-50. And they went and got Ray Davis, who can help shoulder this load. I think the offensive identity is going to be a lot of play action pass. It's going to be a lot different. Yep. It's going to be a lot of screen passes. It's going to be things that we have not seen over the last couple of years.
Agree.
It's going to be short game. I think we're going to play a lot of short game football.
I could agree with that.
I thought that when Josh played his best football in the COVID year, the year that we had to play the NFC West, I forgot what year it was. A lot of his better games were short games, playing within that 5 to 7 pass mark.
Yep.
Obviously, we didn't have speed burners, but that's what his best football was to me in that time period. So, with that being said, I think that's going to be identity. Run the football. Most importantly, protect the football because we know it drives Sean McDermott crazy. Keep us in ball games and wear defenses down. I don't know how many 40-point games we're going to see this year.
Yeah.
But I think Sean McDermott would be okay with winning games 27-17.
I think we might see more than what people think, though.
Yeah. My only worry about that game though is there's 2 teams out of division, and if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, 2 teams they could put up some points.
Yeah.
My only worry is when we play those teams. I don't know if we got Cincinnati this year. I gotta check the schedule. But if we had to run into a Bengals or a Chiefs, and we have to play the Dolphins and the Jets twice, If they're continuing to score, are we going to be able to keep up?
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to get that last score? If we're down by 10 and we're down by 14, are we going to be able to move the ball if we have to go away from the running game? That's my only concern. I think they'll be able to get it done. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They've been doing it for 3 to 4 years. But this is an offense that is now without Stephon Diggs. And even though Stephon kind of got shut out the last half of the season, we went away from him. But reality is, you still had to prepare for him as defense. You still had to watch him as a defense. It made everything easier for everyone else. That safety blanket is not there now.
Right.
So, as D-Dot says, getting the defense open, a defense to move horizontally will open up different leverages for the offense. And that's what I'm thinking.
No. D-Dot, no. Yeah. He already know. Know.
We saw it last year. I think we talked about it last year when he was on the show with us about how the offense under Brady went horizontal. More screen pass. God knows, I don't ever remember seeing a damn screen pass under Brian Daboll and Dorsey.
Yeah, Samuel, man, it'd be even honestly with Hamler running it. You can get busy with that.
Yeah, but I want to get to some of these questions here. I know people have some questions. Cody, my man Cody Wells, what's going on, man? Welcome back, Cody. He says, chance Micah Hyde does one more year. Haven't heard anything new. At this point in time, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't see it right now. If that was the case, he'd have probably been in the fold by now, start getting them in football shape, getting them in the meetings, getting them in the mix. I don't see it unless it's an injury.
Not unless they just have that much faith that Micah Hyde can lawyer Malloy it, get signed off the street and play day one. Yeah. I mean, he can, but a lot of soft tissue is. I think the Bills are going to move on. Unless they.
I got a feeling he's on standby for injury.
Let me reset myself on this one. You know, I'm actually going to say I think it's a pretty high chance. If they come out and they don't look good next week, Micah Hyde may get a call and get that 1 week of practice in. Yeah. I think.
You know what I could see happening? Trade Hamlin, sign him.
Yeah.
I think Hamlin he's a trade candidate.
He's a trade candidate. 100%. 100%. I think if Mike Edwards was healthy, that's probably was going to be your free safety.
He got a hamstring, right?
Yeah. Cody Wells is asking, what are you guys projecting receivers? I think we went through this already. For me, it's Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Mac Hollins. Who am I missing? I'm missing one.
Shakir.
Yeah, Shakir. No, did I say Shakir? I did.
So Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Hollins, and
and the fifth one will be somebody off the street.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Them dudes dropped the ball.
Yeah. It's going to be somebody. I think it's going to be somebody off the street. I think so. It's going to be a surprising cut somewhere for another team, a veteran. The Bills are going to bring somebody in. I mean, I can't.
If MVS got a neck, you got to put him on
IR, short-term IR at least.
Yeah.
Kyle Yeager says, underwhelming and injured. He's talking about the receiving core. Is Curtis Samuel healing? I think you're right. We need to trade for someone. It's about as bad as the Foster Kevin B years.
I ain't going to go that far.
It's not that bad, but after number 4, it gets really bad. Like, this is atrocious. Especially when you don't have a true number 1. That's the worry. You don't have a true number 1 to take the pressure off the other guys. You know, it's kind of by receiver by committee right now.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Cody also asked, why did the Bills cut ties with so many stable players at once? Figures a salary cap thing, just wondering.
What I'm going to say is you wouldn't get the job done with them when they were there and they were getting older. At some point in time, you had to get younger. I think they did that at the perfect time. You had to get younger. Like, you weren't going to win a Super Bowl with them. If you put all them dudes back on the roster, you're not winning a Super Bowl with them, right? I don't think you hurt yourself by removing them guys off the roster. I think you got younger. I think you got more athletic. And it's cheaper, to be real with you. I think they had to do it. At some point in time, you got to play them young guys. You have to.
So I say this. I think that it was already forecasted that this was going to be the year this was going to happen. The only thing that you expected was the Bills will have hoisted 1 or 2 Super Bowl championships.
Or at least been to one.
right, or at least been the one. So I think that it was already always gonna happen this way at this point in time. It's just that you probably waited a year to pull the trigger on doing it because you wanted to give him one more run at it. So I think it's just rotation. It's just a league. It's trying to get younger and get better before you have to go to a full rebuild.
Yep.
So let's see, what other question do we have here? Let's see if we have anything else here. Steve Franchise says, do the Bills need a number one receiver?
I don't think so.
Um,
I mean, you technically got one if you Kincaid is that.
and that's what I think the funny part is, right? I think that we kind of forget that he's more of a receiver than a tight. He is a tight end, but he's going to be your number one target moving forward, most likely. With that being said, number one receiver, technically no. I think we just saw the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl without one. And actually, we saw them beat a Philadelphia Eagle team the other year with two number ones, a 1A and a 1B. So I don't think you need it. It really depends on the growth of Dalton Kincaid. If Kincaid can give you, be honest with you, 1,200 from the tight end spot, then no. If Kincaid's only going to give you about 900, then yes. It's that disparity right there. That's the difference. That 300-yard total. That 300-yard total is going to affect everything of how the defense is going to play you. So, if Kincaid can give you this year 1,100, and Shakir can come up the rear with about close to 1,000, a little over, I think you're fine. But if you're getting to the point where teams are bracketing Kincaid and he's getting you 50 yards a game, and these other guys aren't beating one-on-one coverage and things like that, then you're going to have to go get one. Preferably a Devontae Adams if he comes available.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah. So, real nice, right?
That would be nice.
You got anything else to add on that, James, man?
No, I'm a little concerned about our return game.
Really? Which part? Kickoff or punt?
Kick returns. I think Hardy's going to do great with punt returns. I think he's going to be elite. Kick returns, I'm a little concerned. Y'all know I'm biased. One of the best kick returners in the country, my brother. They should have brought him into camp and gave him a shot. I am biased, but I know what he could have done in the return game with the kick returns. That can be a freaking problem right now, and I am concerned.
Yeah. Who would you prefer to see back there if KJ Hamler doesn't make this team? Preferably.
I don't think we had a guy on the roster.
What about Ty Johnson?
I don't think he's that guy because he's not a threat to take it to the house. He's just not. I think he could be an effective returner, but I would like a dynamic returner because with the new return rules, if you get now this right here, the new return rules, you're going to need a natural returner.
You have to have one now.
You can't get away with putting a guy back there, because next thing you know, your starting field position is going to suck. And people don't realize how big of an impact this is going to be. This is going to be a big deal for when you starting on the 18-yard line consistently instead of the 27 or 28. That's a big difference, man. People keep taking that stuff for granted. You're going to need a natural just returner. I think that could be a problem. I really do.
You know what? I feel like the kickoff now is like Tecmo Bowl. You just kick the ball up and they just run down the field, right?
Yep.
Kyle Yeager says, let Ty Johnson do kick return. I think running back is style to go here. Now, like I said, I'm personally on the Ty Johnson train for this kick return. I thought he did solid last year, but this is where you miss a Naeem Hines. This is where you missed out on not going to get a Cordell Patterson. This has made kick returning. This has brought kick returner back to the forefront and made it special again. Made it extremely impactful. There's not going to be 10 balls going out the back of the end zone every game where you're going to get one return. And as long as he doesn't fumble, you're okay. This is impactful now. And if you put somebody who's not a natural returner back there, they're going to get blasted.
Not even that, they're going to have poor returns. And they're because they don't understand the seams. They don't understand the setup of it, right? Being a returner, it's a skill set that you can't. It's an instinct you got to have. Like Ignorant people think you just put a fast dude back there, he catch it and just run. No, one, he gonna get his wig split. Two, you gotta understand seams, right? You don't want a kick returner who pitter patters feet. You want a returner who don't break stride. Look at Devin Hester, right? Obviously he's elite. Look at Patterson, right? Look at what's the name? Andre Roberts we had a few years ago. Those guys will never break stride on returns. That's what make them elite, and that's an instinct you got to have to be able to see it and just go, right? You need that. You need to get to the 25-yard line. Think about this: if the Bills can consistently, if they starting their average starting field position is a 27, 28-yard line, as opposed to the 18-yard line. People can say, "Oh, it's only 10 yards." That's a huge difference, man. That's a
Right.
huge difference. Two first downs put you in field goal range. Shoot, you know what I mean? Like that's a total different than three first downs get you in field goal range. So we got to get in that. I'm a little concerned about it. I hope somebody steps up. I'm a little concerned about it.
So if it was me, like I said, I would probably start with Ty Johnson doing it if it was my call.
Yeah,
But
when that's
there's
on the roster, you have to. I don't think you have a choice.
yeah, I I think we can get by with him doing it and actually be somewhat successful at it. Okay, but throw your name. Guys on a bubble, he may get cut. May not necessarily be a Buffalo guy, but you also have a problem at number 5 receiver. If a Kadarius Tony's going to get cut, maybe that's a guy that you bring in. That's a guy he's natural at that. And if you can bring that in as a 5th receiver and fill a position without having to, as I like to say, the Andre Roberts position, adding that 6th or 7th guy to take that roster spot away from a guy who can't really do anything outside of that,
I
then
think it's so important now, JT. You might have to put a roster spot for just a returner. It's going to be that important with that new kickoff rule. It's that important.
yeah,
You may have to designate a spot to somebody. It's literally that important now.
yeah,
It's a huge difference.
yeah. I mean, who returned kicks in the preseason game? Was it Hardy?
They had Isabella back there. He looked like
Dude, no, that's done. That's done. That's done. And that done. Over that. Nope. Just a fast guy.
literally
Just a
for a
fast guy.
returner. For a returner, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I mean, so the most concerning things coming out right for you is the secondary, not secondary, but the safety room and the kick return.
Safety's number one, and number two, the return game for me.
Okay. Uh, I'd probably say the most concerning thing for me right now is I'm not too concerned about kick return right now. I think Ty Johnson could do it if we had to. I think Hardy could do it too. Honestly, I think he'd be natural. I think he'd pick it up. He's not as natural at kick return as he is punt return, but he's a natural returner, so I think he can get used to it and pick it up. My most concerning things for me at this point going to preseason game number 3 is I'd say the safety room, which I'm with you. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't even tell you who the 4 safeties or 5 safeties are going to be at this point in time, to be completely honest with you.
The one guy, what's his last name? It was number 36.
Kendall Williamson.
Yeah, he hasn't looked bad.
No, he doesn't look bad. He doesn't look
He
bad.
hasn't looked bad.
So, but I would say the other spot is who's going to take Matt Milano's spot? Obviously,
mean,
that's no
Dorian Williams played it last year. I think he gonna get the first crack.
I'm not. Listen, man. I'm sorry. And knock on wood. I hope this kid turns it around. I'll just be completely honest here. I'm not on the Dorian Williams train. I'm not. I'm not on the Dorian Williams train. I have not seen improvement even in the preseason. I see a guy who attacks the football, he hits, but when it comes to reading and reacting, it's not there. Especially in pass coverage. And if you're going to replace Matt Milano, you have to replace him in pass coverage.
Yeah.
Most importantly, because of what he gives you in it. You have to replace Matt Milano is a high IQ player. And you have to replace him with another high IQ player.
What about Merle?
That's why I'm wondering why we're not going that route.
Unless they giving Dorian Williams the first crack at it, and then boom.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I said, I like Dorian Williams as I hope he gets it, but I have seen no improvement, and I saw no improvement all through the season last year. I feel like this is a whole nother Tyrell Dodson situation. We got to wait for 3 years to get an high IQ play out of him. If you say see ball, go get ball, he's good. You see, hey, think, react, go make the right decision pass coverage. No. He's almost like a throwback 34 linebacker, 34 front linebacker in the middle, to me.
He would actually be probably damn good at that position.
Which is why I said, if you need to get another linebacker of the year, draft Trenton Simpson. That's why I said go for Trenton Simpson. He's a better fit. They didn't. They went with Dorian Williams. Trenton Simpson is, guess what? He's starting in Baltimore. Baltimore produces a lot of really good linebackers. So it may one that we have to eat crow on. And the fact that the Bills are not just giving him the job to say to do it, that means that they're a little unsure as well.
Yeah.
Stevie said Nicholas Morrow was injured. Another injury. I didn't even know about that one.
I thought he had Veteran Day. I didn't know he was injured. I thought they gave him like a Veteran Day. That's news to me. I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either. Yes, I'll check it out, but I didn't know. It's just to the point, man. I don't know. It can't be. I know who it can't be. It can't be Deion Jones.
It won't be.
I'll tell you that. He suffered ankle injury on March 13th. Falling for. Oh, that was March 13th. Yeah.
Damn, that was a while ago.
Okay, yeah, Morrow just came back. I guess he just came back. Mike Edwards came back, and then Morrow came back. So, I don't know. Thank God. I don't know. D-Dot said Deion Jones looked good. I don't know, man. I'm not.
Ooh, he looked rough against some threes, D-Dot. We'll talk about that tomorrow when we lift, dude. Ooh. He got caught up in the wash quite a few times. I think he's going to make the team, though, JT. I think he's going to make the team.
Well, I mean, what did we keep last year? 6 linebackers?
Yeah, because I think he's going to make the team off his experience. He's somebody that,
He might.
I think he's going to make the team, me personally. I mean, so, especially if he's willing to play special teams. So you're going to go Bernard, Williams, Morrow. Those are only 3 locks to me.
Yeah.
He's going to make the team.
You're probably right. They may need to call somebody else. They may make another call. I don't know, man. Listen, we're going to get into an even deeper show next week about records and projections and stuff like that after this roster comes out. Consider this our preseason show as well. So,
Yeah, Deion Jones will be on the roster. It was another one that we're missing. This is another guy we missing that I was going to say going to make the team. Shoot. It's a veteran.
Well, the rookie from BYU is going to make it 100%.
Oh, what's his name again?
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it. But you know what I'm talking about. So, I'm not even going to fool myself on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, safety position, we got to get that fixed.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll figure it out. But, hey, man, this is our first show of the season. And, like I said, it may not have been up to standard. It's a preseason. We'll be back next week. It'll be better, I promise. All right? Can't even find the stuff on my computer today. Balen Spector, yeah, I don't know. Balen Spector's another one, too.
He might make it. I think it's tough.
Yeah, Balen Spector, he may have lost a spot this year. Cindy Martin Jackson asked, what do you guys think of Buffalo Joe before we get off? Like I said, I think he had a great game. I think if he mimics that again, I think he's guaranteed himself a practice squad spot.
I think the UB linebacker you want is Sean Dolick, not him. Sean Dolick is 10 times better than him. That's the one. People keep talking about this. It's cool. He a practice squad candidate. Sean Dolick is the linebacker you want from UB, the one that's at UB who led the country in tackles. Like, he got hurt last year. Sean Dolick is the UB linebacker you want. That's from Buffalo. Buffalo Joe's cool. Dolick is the one y'all want.
Next year.
Absolutely.
Next year. So, there you go. Ola for sure or something. Yeah, you got to do that. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like I said, I'm not even going to kid myself. So,
He gonna be
but yeah,
like a
man.
pad. He gonna be like a dude as blitz. He is gonna send him on a blitz. Like, hey, go blitz.
Yeah, they better do a lot more than that because they're going to
I
need it.
guess he going on special teams too. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that man, it was a good show. It was good getting back on air. Good, thank everybody tuning in. Got a lot more views than I thought we had for day one without no promo, no announcement. So appreciate that. Appreciate that. You got anything final notes there, James? Any final topic? Anything you want to talk about?
Nope. No, we back. We back. We back. Not only us, but us, our Buffalo Vets guys are back. Youth football is back in the area. Buffalo Vets, we are back in full effect, baby.
All right.
Support.
Yep. So, all right, man, we're gonna get out of here. Nice count with Cal Yerby. We go play nickel nonstop. Let Bernard float cover. Just send Dorian on blitzes. Damn, that's probably all we can do with him. I mean, I don't know. But either way, next week another show. The Bills are playing Carolina this week. Hopefully it's a good showing. Hopefully it's up to standard. Hopefully no injuries. I'm pretty sure we won't see much from the starters. But a lot of guys fight positions. Just say good luck to my man out there, Terrell Burgess, my homie on the team. I'm trying to really want him to make this roster here. So Burgess, go kill him. Go get him, T-Bird. Go get him. All right. On that, guys, I'm off of here. Catch you guys later. Peace.